Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the studio. That was Team America taking over Game 1 with a dominant performance there from Kai Suko. What can you tell us about that match, Reload? You were there with the bird's eye view over everything, eyes on the prize as you saw him take out his enemy team, just sandwiching them between the barrel of his M16 and the play zone. Great positioning from him and great fire control, but what let him get that far, do you think?
Okay, so what I first saw was the drops. Like drops are super interesting because nobody went for military base and nobody went for super high risk areas where you'd usually go. So you'd usually see like a school, the crates in George Pool, military base. We didn't see any three of those initial drops straight out of the bat. We did see some George Pool drops, but not exactly at the crates. More for those apartment complexes. We saw Novo next to the military base, and we did see some Rozok drops. So that was the first thing I did see. Yeah, it was really interesting, especially on those, when there's not many players, 31 players, definitely not a lot. So that's the first thing I did notice. The second thing I noticed as well is people were playing it very defensively. Like, people obviously it's a game of survival more than straight up killing. A lot of defensive plays that I did see, especially from teams in George Paul, they were just straight up, watching stairs as their teammate looted up. So those are the first couple of things that I actually noticed.
Yeah, so that you talked there about defensive play, and I think the epitome of that really has to be Team McCain. The first person to die in that entire match was Ladle Theravada. He was killed by Goose Lee
Yes.
of Ian Onan's team with an M16. He was dead pretty much immediately. First person we ever saw fight and just got absolutely banged out. But his partner, Team Megacanther, I think's his name, he managed to make it all the way to third place, just surviving by being very quiet, being very stealthy, and not taking any of those risky fights that we saw those other teams go for, just constantly positioning himself well in the circle and in cover. And in the end, that's put him super far ahead in the standings. Team Kane's going to have a great shot of making it further in this tournament just because of him.
Yeah. So that's the power of you if you die, you still got your teammate, and if you manage to wipe the enemy team that you're fighting, you can still get really far as long as you play it really stealthily. You can't really take those brute force solutions where if you see two guys on a hill, you can't really take them, so you have to go around, be all sneaky, like go prone, and then you just try and take one out really quickly, and then hopefully try and get the guy on surprise. So playing it really stealthily when you've got when it's only yourself is a really good valid tactic, honestly.
Yeah, something else that I found interesting, especially compared to those regular matches, is that we just didn't see as much SMG and like shotgun usage as we normally do. And something else that was kind of interesting is that we saw so much M16 use. I don't know if that was just the RNG of the loot, but I believe 9 of the 30 kills in that game, at the very least, from what I've been able to track down on my pen and paper, and I missed all of the middle of that match, they were all with the M16. It's maybe some of that was just Kaki being the only person with an M16 and just banging people out, 7 kills. But how
Well,
good is the M16 in this high level?
I really think that comes down to the two factors. A lot of people would generally agree that the M16 is one of the best assault rifles that are out there because it has such a rapid rate of fire and the damage and the bullet speed with it. At the very least, people like to use it if you don't have a secondary sniper rifle um, or designated marksman uh, to be able to use that as their secondary for a long range weapon. The other portion of that is that being with the 15 team setup that we have here today, it gave people a lot of time to be able to go around and find those weapons where you don't really see as much of using the UMP or the Uzi or anything like that.
Yeah, we saw a lot of really, really interesting fights though in that match. I think my personal favorite one was Sono versus Artin and Noxa. It wasn't one we really dwelled on, but I thought it was kind of one of these archetypical PUBG matches. PUBG matchups. You have one guy who's lost his teammate to the initial bout, but manages to get behind a tree, manages to use the zone to his advantage, and just with an SKS, pin the other team down until they die from the play zone. Do you guys have any particular matches, particular, little fights that you thought were super interesting?
I personally like the Team Volta one where one team was holed up in a house near the zone. Basically, Team Volto basically went up and tried just did a breach and clear. They knew they were both in the top floor. So basically, what they did is they started coming up on the top floor while one of the enemy teams actually jumped down. So they immediately just went on him, killed him, got him out of the way, and they just straight up rushed the other guy and got him both basically. So really tried and tested, sticking together, focus fire on a target, and then you just go in for the next last guy who's in a kind of a bad position. While he's in a defensive position, you have the positioning on him now because there's only one of him and there's two of you, so you can go around, get some flanks on him, and get a good position on him.
I think my favorite was the one up north, just west of Severny. It was Team CS:GO and help me, somebody. I don't remember. But you saw them early in the fight. He was shooting through the door out the balcony, got knocked down right away, got picked back up, immediately met it up, and went outside, which I think was an excellent call. Went back over the wall, the stone wall, and knew that they were on approach, knew that the line was coming in, and set himself up for a great flanking position. Once he was able to get one of them down, his partner was going around with the UMP on the right-hand side. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out, and I think that was Kai that they actually fought, obviously earning those 7 kills. Took out, I think, both of them. But it was a great maneuver to be able to not only get up, but have that awareness that they're going to be pushing in, and he had the opportunity to be able to exit out the backside of the building and loop back around and then have his partner come back around on the other side. It almost paid off.
Yeah, there were so many very interesting fights. I really hope we can get some like a highlight reel after this to really emphasize just how different this competitive mindset seems to make people play. You're not seeing people just take these really dumb aim duels. They're just trying to outflank people, trying to maneuver around people, and just get those perfect couple of shots that you need to end the fight right there. And I think that just makes it so much more beautiful to watch. One thing I did notice, however, was that the Mini 14, it just wasn't being used as much as I've seen it used in more pub games. People just don't seem to be able to use it to its full potential. Is that because there's less people, or so there's less traveling, or is it just because it's not very good in mid range or something like that?
Well, I think there was a lot of opportunity to find one. You saw a lot of people have 4x scopes, quite a few silencers in that round. Obviously, as I said, a lot of time to loot for these teams. As to not having the Mini 14, I'm not sure if it was a matter of preference or they just didn't come across any. I was actually very surprised myself.
What about you, really? Were there any tactics that you thought you were going to see that you didn't in this match?
Considering it's a game where really there's not many players, you won't see like people just bum rushing for shotguns and trying to blast the guy that's next to them. But there was a lot of time for loot, which is kind of interesting because usually in almost every game, loot is kind of a primary factor in if you're going to win or lose. But in this game, a lot of people had time for looting. There were not many contested areas. So it was really interesting because basically this game wasn't of game of the game of loot. It's basically the game of maneuver. Because if you had a better positioning advantage on the other teams, then you're just gonna wreck face basically. Everyone's on a pretty solid ground in terms of weaponry because people have had time to loot and people have had time to get their quote unquote perfect loadout. On that, it's either it's your positioning and basically your weapon skill.
So do you think you're going to see people move more towards vehicles then to try and get that early positioning?
It's a risk reward because cars are really loud, and that will alert people to positioning. So unless you're going super early on the zone, I don't know if it might be worth it. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, just as a heads up for you guys, this isn't the final match, obviously. No team is out yet, and no team will be out until the third and final match. I think there's always the possibility of someone winning if they manage to pick up 30 frags. So, in fact, it looks like the match is just about ready. So, we're going to be passing you over to Madden and Brett Thomas for the second map in the series. Quickly, guys, what team do you think needs to do better to be able to? Sorry, what team do you think we should be looking at here?
Team America. That's a one to watch, definitely, especially that Kaiki dude with that M4. He was just popping people left and right.
Absolutely agree. One person that I've played with that I would keep an eye out for is Jordan. I know he does a lot of solo. I played some with him, and he has a lot of great situational awareness, especially when you get into the circles where it's really starting to push everybody in. I think that can really make a difference. We saw him going after some fights, just hearing the gunshots, knowing the circle and everything. I think he could really put himself into a position to get very deep in the bracket.
Yeah, personally, I'm just going to keep an eye on Nasty Boys. Ushi was like the second top frag in that whole server. I'm hoping he keeps that up this next round. But without any further ado, let's hand it over to the commentators and get back to Aaron Zhao and the violence that you came here to watch.
All right, Madden Ken Rende here with Brett Thomas to commentate here this second match. Very excited to see how this goes after an awesome first match. You got some great teams, some great people. What do you think, Brett?
Yeah, I'm really looking to the match. I'm really hoping to get a circle which is a lot more of an interesting final circle instead of the large open field which we saw everybody die to kind of camping the edge of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you got a great kind of last 2 minutes in that match because it worked out. It was flat. It was beautiful to watch. It was really fun. At the same time, you had the first few minutes where, with the exception of a guy managing to crash into a wall in a car, which, don't get me wrong, love it. It's not the constant fighting and just joy that you think of when you think of PUBG, because it's really, there's always something happening in a great PUBG match. But at the same time, I loved watching Kaisuko take out a huge number of people. I think, you had Laurent with a couple of good moments. Obviously, they talked about the Volta team with Shuridan that, they played well. There were definitely some good battles to watch, and I think we're going to get even more of that now that the teams kind of know their footing. They've played a match to kind of get themselves, shake off the rust, and now in a few seconds here, we're going to get to see another very exciting match.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to what we see. What playing paths would you like to see for this next game? What would be very interesting?
I either straight down the middle, give everybody choices of absolutely everything, or maybe like actually way off to the side over the island. That, like with the military base or something, that could always be fun to watch. Any teams that you're looking out for in particular?
I am personally friends with the guys in #FreeGigX. I've played with them a couple of times, and I really look forward to seeing them actually do well instead of dying to a single guy on a set of stairs. As we see the plane going in the south side, west to east, this is a very opportune drop if anyone wants to go military base, as we see a group of 4 already jumping out immediately, trying to go up that north coast and get to the good loot spot.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. You're getting lots of people moving together, the fishing village, going up towards maybe the Georgia Pole eventually. It's right off the military base. I bet you're going to get some people going to Novo if they're aggressive. That's going to be really advantageous. I love this. I love this plane. It's unusual. It's fun to watch. I think it's going to create some great content. If anyone's willing to take the risk and go north, that's going to be fantastic. Seeing Chorodon, the last one out there, I think that's a really good move from Volta. Going to give them an advantage, being willing to take the plane, though Goose Lee and Ionin being the only people going to the military base, I think they're going to have some nice loot all by themselves.
Yeah, really good idea there. Seeing nobody's actually going towards the military base and deciding, screw it, we'll go as we get to the moment where we see just in the north, in the top left of your screen there, Mom Spaghetti, Jordan and Orion moving off at the last moment, seeing people are parachuting with them, not wanting to die really early in this game and just escaping to look for a vehicle.
Yeah, it's interesting too because they went to what is not necessarily a classic loot spot, so they ended up. Wow, look at that! 6 people all together. Those people are going to land very close. You've got SenseMart over there. These are This is crazy. This is 6 people with Mega who did relatively well in that last match too. I guess they've all decided they don't want to battle immediately. They want to try and get those points. Obviously, this being a 3-match tournament, there's some value in not dying first. So people are being a little bit more risk averse than I think you see in a normal PUBG match, where everyone will be like, let's just go to the apartments and have battles on top of the roofs because that's fun. Everyone here is trying to get their own buildings.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to get that long, straight road to the southwest of what is the pit and the underground bunkers, trying to get those cars as early as possible because there is quite a lot of loot spawns there. Unfortunately, over that whole road, there wasn't a single car, so they've all reached the spot and went, oh no, let's find houses and hopefully not die.
Yeah, and this is also a really interesting circle because the circle is north and everything else started south. So the beginning, I think, with the exception of people who happen to land near each other, not a lot of action. But once this match gets going, everyone's going to be going towards that northeast, and that's going to really force content. So I'm excited to see, especially when you get people like Extra, like Lysis, like LeVar, all off in that southwest corner. Those people are all going to be heading towards the same direction as you're seeing Chronopoly basically all by himself making the movement upwards, which obviously that's Team America. You'd expect nothing but greatness from them after that first match.
Yeah, we could have potentially seen some combat here east of Pochinki as the car drives through the open fields with easy shots for Extra and Extra Sammy. Unfortunately, they decided they weren't going to try and fight the combat there. They were just going to let them drive through and keep looting, trying to get as much loot as possible before moving. We see in the top right, Bronopoly and his team going up there. Team America getting into Yasna or going for this Kameshki circle, trying to get all that loot, keep it to themselves and get out the way. So hopefully they can have the advantage when the circle closes back up.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a smart move. I think it's a little bit less interesting because they're not going to have combat for the first, probably half of the match at least. But the reality is, you're trying to win a tournament here. It's all about that sweet, sweet victory. And if you're trying to win, it's definitely a safe move to loot up as much as possible and get somewhere where there's not a lot of people. You know where the plane path was. You know where most of the people jumped out from. The odds are, if you start going towards the north now, you're going to be pretty lonely and able to loot and kind of enjoy yourself. And there's something to be said for that.
Oh, we have Team Kane here moving in front of the bunkers. We know somebody has already been in the bunkers before, trying to get all that loot. They do have shotguns and snipers, so Mega's just been checking inside, hopefully not going in and just dying to the more well-equipped Sona team there. But he's decided no, he's gonna just look around, check the long way for a road, and then he's gonna check the long road for a car, and then keep moving north. Too risky to try and search there.
Yeah, I will say I like this move from Lewis and Son of Mort over from Boasty guys, or Boasty and Felsteed. I don't know what that's from, but I like it. They're going out, they're hitting the bunker. That's good loot, and they're basically by themselves. So that's advantageous. As we see Loot Crate off by itself, I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic because there's no one near it. That'll be interesting to see what's in there as we get eyes on.
Oh, another
level
Groza,
3.
another ghillie suit, and a military vest. That is going to be a very, very good pickup for people who decide to move there. Unfortunately, a compensator cannot be fit on a Groza, so that is useless in this situation. But it's in a very good spot for Team America to eventually get round. Or maybe someone from Georgia Pole is going to hit that side, see it in the distance, and try and get a good chance. We see Rain Chocolate in the bottom left hand corner of your screen now, really far away from the zone, so it seems to be they're looking for a car to try and get in time. Yeah, they are running towards the zone. Hopefully they can get a car and get inside the zone before the blue starts to close in.
I mean, realistically, this is the first circle. I'd be more than shocked if there was anything more than minor damage from being that far out. It's really not a big deal. I think that fear of the blue comes from the second and third circles where it starts to really get some movement on you. But the first circle, the damage is minor, and realistically, you can run pretty much the entire map as long as you're paying enough attention. 30 seconds before the zone starts moving in, it's probably going to take a couple of minutes just to get to them. Whether or not they find a vehicle, they'll be all right. It'll hurt them for loot and obviously positioning, but at the same time, being that far out isn't that bad, as we're seeing potentially combat here.
Yeah, we have a three-way fight going on. We have a car moving past, as well as Boasty and Felsted and Team America both being in the same building. They know Megaplyer's in here. They've seen him moving about. They don't realize his teammates are coming up from behind. They run to him.
Ooh, there it is. Oh wow, that was an easy kill for Lewis right there.
Yeah, they were split up only with a shotgun.
And here's Mega with very good eyes, but a very weak positioning with his gun, trying to take him out with a pistol. I believe in you, Mega. I believe.
Yeah, they split up trying to get the most loot possible. Unfortunately, mistimed it with Toasty and Boasted moving forward and getting into a position between them. So the moment one of them tried to rejoin their team, they got cornered off and shot. So Lewis and Son of Morth are just sitting here and scoping out that building. Mega knows he cannot leave without being seen. He has to try and wait until they come in and try and beat them with that shotgun.
Yeah, and importantly, he's got pretty weak guns. I don't think that they've been very lucky, that team in general, in terms of loot. This is not the best positioning, and so I think unless Son of Mort and Lewis walk right in and try and take him out, he's probably not lost in the world. I think their best move is either they can try and push him out or they can move on, because I doubt he's going to go anywhere very quickly.
Yeah, he is in the zone, so he is fine to sit here and just watch these stairs. Toasty and Boasted are just going to throw some grenades in and try and clear him out, but they're not getting close enough to where he's positioned.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things too is now the ability to actually cock your grenade and a marginally better aim. You wonder if you try and take advantage of that in this moment. Maybe that's a really aggressive maneuver for PUBG. Like, do you remember exactly how to cock a grenade? I don't know that I do, to be honest here, but it's a potentially valuable move. As you're seeing Rain now moving towards the extra unit down there in the south, but I think Mega's probably going to be sitting in this building for a while. You'll see if Rain gets spotted by Extra or Extra Salty here, or if she can just drive on through unaffected by the fact that Extra is basically right there.
Yeah, she's finally deciding to drive really close to this town at the moment.
Definitely heard him, but she's going to drive right past.
Yeah, they do spot them, but unfortunately no opportunity to get a combat. So there is only one or two teams right now outside the zone getting the last of the loot before they move in. So that team was the furthest away, so it looks like they're going to get inside and hopefully get somewhere where they can loot.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say at this point the only ones who are in any sort of potential danger are probably Unity and Evolve. Right over there near Doja Pole is really bad for cars, so unless they have one, they're probably going to have to start running. But at the same time, as I said before, it's the first circle. If you die to the first circle, that's your own fault. You're bad, and you should feel bad.
Very true. While that area is really bad for cars, they have had a large amount of space and a large amount of houses to move about, so they could have potentially found a car at this time. It's not as if anyone landed with them and could have got it.
Absolutely. This has been, with the exception of that content we saw over with Mega, very quiet, very, very simple start. Not a lot going on. But there's a lot of good teams here, and I think now we're getting to the second and third circle. That's where you're going to see some really great content and some really good combat too. As we're seeing, yeah, they did have a car over there. Lysis also has a car down south. The only people who haven't already gotten in are Extra and Extra Salty, who, I don't know, he might be a bot. I mean, Extra Salty, if this was nullsec, I would say those guys are probably bots, but maybe it's not the same person. I don't know how you do that in PUBG. It sounds really hard.
Yeah, if we go back to Boasty and Felsted, they're still just focusing on that one house with Team America in, but we see Goosely has just flipped his car outside of that position, so he could potentially get in a three-way fight here. More grenades going in through the window. No, it looks like the car's back up. They've just spun it out, so this could potentially be another fight.
That would be fantastic. I'd love to watch a three-way in the second circle.
Yeah, no, it looks like they're just driving past. They were within sight, but it's too Too much trouble to fight it off now.
Well, the reality is, you're seeing a three-way. Do you want to take that? What does your own gear look like? And do you have ice? I'm guessing they didn't. They never really spotted. If they did, they probably would have taken them out.
You potentially have a car kill in the northwest. People driving right into the compound with other people. But as we see more people going to the northeastern buildings, they're going to spot very quickly that these have already been looted. Already had people get in here and get all the stuff. So it's unfortunately they're going to have to move on very quickly.
Yeah, as you're seeing now, Jordan taking some shots. He did really, really well in that first match. I think they're in maybe tied for 4th place right now. The Volta team with Mega's team actually of Nox and Sin, I think that's the name. No, Kane. But this is going to be interesting to see now that you've got Nox over there with Rain, with Eldon moving in. You've got Lysis who's taking damage outside the circle. They're going to take a lot of damage. Sin going to extra. So that's a little bit dangerous for them as the circle is now finished and is going to start hurting a lot more. At the same time, you still got Mega and Sun over there. Look at Rain. Rain and Eldon right there. There's 4 or 5 different people who are in the same general vicinity. You wonder if they're gonna actually get a little bit of content, or Rain's just gonna hide in that building.
Yeah, we have potentially people going for the crate. They just drove right past it, getting the really good loot that was in that crate, and getting in a good position. Obviously, over the top left, definitely looting that there. But we have a lot of people, 4 or 5 groups of people in this northeast. Trying to get in a good position with a car while drive-by shooting with a sniper rifle out of a car. I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't know. It was probably a lot of fun. So I hope they have a lot of ammo. But other than that, I'm a big fan. Anytime you can sit there and honk the horn and just start firing, you're probably doing the right thing.
Yeah, we have a fight. We have a potential fight going on here. 2 people in this very small town moving around and know they're there. They can hear the footsteps coming around. They're trying to get a good position and scope them out. But it looks like they've just moved around the outside of the town. Yeah, the shot's going off. Lauren taking damage there.
Yeah, that's very dangerous position for Lauren. Kaisuko, who just annihilated teams in that last match to get the win for America. Very dangerous individual. Is now we're watching Bronopoli hide in the bathroom. Hurricanes, PUBG, both scenarios, you want to hide in the bathroom, for sure.
Yeah, they're just trying to scout out this building here. I think Team America thinks they're in this immediate building. Oh, no, he's just around the corner. Managed to drop him.
That was crazy. I think Kaisuko got dropped and still managed, just almost beyond hope, to take the first kill there. That is crazy, as you're now watching him. He's in extremely dangerous position if Serene can take him out. And there it is. Our leader from the last match going to go down extremely early here, as Bronopoli really not providing a lot of value right there, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely too far away to provide the assistance there. But we also have a kill in the middle. Rain Chocolate finally going down, wiping out both members of that team. But unfortunately, I believe his partner went down as well. No, his partner's surviving inside, doing a really good job of eliminating that team and getting all the good loot.
Yeah, and you gotta love when he lies down on top of the person after killing them. That's a really great version of just dominating your opponents, to lie down on top of their dead body. I'm a big fan of that move. As we see, another crate has landed here with an M249 and a med kit. That's a fun gun. You put 100 rounds of ammo into a gun, and you can lay out a large number of individuals with that very effectively, or provide covering fire, which is much less fun.
At that point, when you begin to clear buildings, what is pre-fire? I'm just going to.
Why stop firing? There's no good value in that.
Ooh, Mega Mapler has just got out of this building. He's finally got out when all the teams on the other side, but they are sweeping around, so he is pressed for time. He's pushing on the outside, trying to push on Son of Mort with that KAR, just creeping the edge of the building, and he is visible there, and both of them can potentially see him if they're watching that area.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. He's got a shotgun and a pistol. Son of Mort has, I think, maybe an AK. Lewis has a car. Mega's now outside the circle in just about as bad a position as you could be. He may somehow escape here if Lewis and Son of Mort decide the circle is more important than getting the kill. But either way, he doesn't have any weaponry of value, so it's very, very unfortunate for him.
I think they do not realize he only has a shotgun, so they're trying to just keep him out until the last moment and then leave. Don't want him at his back. But yes, as they get out, he does swap to the pistol and try and get a final couple of shots off before running away. It's now his time to try and find his own car and get into the circle. He's finally free from people watching him.
Yeah, and I think he's probably going to die to the circle. I don't think he has a car. It's really unfortunate for Mega. You know, he managed to not die for all that time just to go down to the circle, unless he finds a car extremely quickly at this point. As we're watching Lysis, who I think just picked up that crate up in the north, probably pretty valuable there, and everyone else just kind of getting that last moment of loot in. Should be interesting now. Once this circle collapses and we get the next circle, I think we're going to see a lot of teams fighting. You know, 25 alive. We got 5 kills this entire time, probably 6 when Mega goes down. Very early on, a lot of action, excitement potential.
Yeah, but since he did not get hit, apart from, I believe it's straight grenade, but I'm not entirely sure, nobody will get killed. He died to the blue. He will.
Yeah,
he will
very
die.
important for the tournament. You know, the value of the kill is high, so you know, going down to the blue, from the perspective of the team that was sitting there chasing him, they really do lose out in that scenario.
Yeah, Extra and Extra Salty moving in. They seem to be favoring double ARs, probably with different attachments for different ranges. Just getting in and using what weapons they have to their advantage.
Absolutely, you know, use the terrain, use your positioning, use your knowledge. That's what you got to do in this game. It's dangerous play out in the open, but when you have the opportunity to take advantage of it, do it. As you're seeing Son of More now healing up from that activity earlier on.
Yeah, potentially close to this team, which has Noza in it. They are hiding inside this the sniper tower, just potentially looking out and trying to catch people running in, because they're in a wonderful position, because a lot of people went this east side. They're trying to get people who are moving in very late and get these kills for an advantage. As we see Mega Man for finally getting into the zone. He's just...
No, he's not going to make it. Wait, is he?
I believe
Oh!
he's taking on... He has bandages. He's going to make it.
I don't know. This is gonna be close. He's at the edge of his health. He's trying to have the bandage compete with the zone. I think he's gonna make it into the zone, and then he's gonna have to run immediately to the next zone with only a shotgun to support him.
Oh.
But hey, I can't believe he made it. I didn't think he had a chance. Go Mega, go.
He has to keep running. If he doesn't keep running now, he's not gonna make it. So he's gotta probably drop bandage up and then keep running and repeatedly do that.
It's important to remember, you know, Mega, you know, he finished 3rd in the last match. They're doing really well in terms of points, you know, 4th place overall. So if his survival here gives his team a chance to at least, you know, get some points and stay in it, because obviously, you know, placement is more important in many ways than kills, unless you can pick up 7 like Kaisuko. So very, very valuable for him to continue on, potentially, you know, make the late stage. You never know.
Yeah, not taking awful dodger, keeping the safe spot here, choosing not to fire on Son of More. They decide to fire on the 3GX team as they drive past in that UAZ. I'm not sure if they got any hits, but they have finally revealed their positions to the team with double sniper rifles, who you can see on the map are just focusing on them now. They're keeping their sights downrange, trying to get that team as it moves up.
Yeah, and you gotta like here what's going on is everyone's slowly going up the mountaintop, essentially. So you have very good visuals of people as they start to climb up and make their last stands or their positions for later on. You know, you get the feeling of, obviously you're seeing where this circle is going to go. You get a feeling where Extra is. That's probably where the next circle is going to go as well. So they're saying, all right, so how do we want to position? You know, Laurent choosing to take the north route, Digaman, Unity, and Lysis all choosing to be in a similar area near Stabler or Stalber. Very, very interesting to see how people are kind of thinking this through, because eventually, you know, you're going to have to make a move. There's going to be action coming very, very soon. We're still at 25.
Yeah, I believe it's a world. I believe this is going to be like a world first. We have a circle closing in on Stalber. Like, holy cow. That's it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm really excited to see how they use this new and upgraded terrain to their advantage after the most recent patch adding more buildings to it.
Yeah, not only that, but you know, the ability to actually, like, shadows are in a much better position. They actually hold better now, as do bushes. You know, you can't edit those away as well as you could before. So I think all around, just good things, improving PUBG as we are still in early access. But now you're seeing Mega still surviving somehow with Elden and his partner still moving that way. Now Jordan having an opportunity to try and take some pot shots, but probably more than a few pot shots. Wow, almost took that guy out. Jordan Volta here may get a kill. Goose is on fire, and water does not turn out fire in PUBG, in case you guys are wondering. It does not
the
work.
Free Gigax team were the ones that landed in military base, so driving the car through this heavy populated area was a really bad idea. Goosely sitting on just a sliver of health there, a single shot or a single bit of blue damage could really damage him. He's hopefully planning to get to a beach and med up where he can't be seen.
Yeah, that was great shooting from Jordan from Volta. I mean, absolutely spectacular shooting. I mean, he just nailed the driver and the passenger as they were going by. I don't know if he missed a single shot. That was really, really impressive to watch.
Yeah, Orion SF looking like he's got a good position, but Mon Spaghetti and Ivra would just pull back down the hill and moved around and left them staring at an empty tree.
Yeah, I mean, this is fun to watch. I mean, you know, I know a lot. I know these two teams in particular relatively well, and I think they're both very equally matched. So I'm very curious to see what it turns into when they eventually find each other.
Yeah, Goosely fortunately getting a lot of loot, but having to run against this blue now. I believe if he doesn't shift it now, he will not make it inside the zone in time with the amount of damage that blue's starting to do now. It's finally
you know, that's very dangerous. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot more than a tickler. You're saying Eldon just going, oh, that's huge combat. Eldon, son of Mort. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. Ushi just knocking people down, trying to pick up his partner here as the blue circle is going to hurt a lot. So Ushi is saying, I'm not going to make it if I try and wait for my friend. I'm going to make the run here. Not sure he'll make it either way, but he got the kills there, and that was valuable by itself. As Orion taking down Ilvar with a headshot right off the bat. Goosely got knocked out outside the play zone. Mom Spaghetti getting kills here. Huge action right as we're watching this. Orion versus Mom Spaghetti here could go either way. I think it's now a 1v1 essentially, unless Orion can pick up his partner. Now you're also seeing Irunan dying outside the playing zone. Jarden's gone outside the play zone. Play zone is really dangerous now, clearly, as we're seeing a lot of people taking down. And now you've got content in the north, content in the west, content in the south. There's content everywhere.
Yeah, Orion SF just pulling back and getting away from there, scouting each other down and realizing they don't want to take this fight. They want to survive as late as possible and getting out.
Yeah, a real lesson here, and always be close to the circle, as I think we just saw about 5 or 6 people all die to either fighting outside the circle or just being too far. Very quickly. A lot of really fun action to watch, as now we're seeing a lot of people all nearby. I think Artful is right near Lysis, who we didn't see. You've got, so Lysis and his partner, I read your email here, or Asan, I believe. That's... Wow. If you're an Oxa and you're Artful Dodger right now, you are in the kill zone, and I wish you luck. I really do. If they survive this, I will be so impressed. They have been spotted an hour. Like, wow, Ired's moving and taking shots. There goes Noxus, both of his life. Oh, Ired goes down. Artful goes down. Lysis. Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Noxra from Nox and Sin taking out Lysis and I read your email, who absolutely had the drop. That is spectacular shooting from Noxa. Wow. Well done, sir. I bow to your competence. That was impressive and very fun. As now we watch Orion. Unity died outside the play zone. Laurent taking out Digiman. Still kills happening everywhere. Can't see them all, but thankfully we're seeing some really fine plays. Extra here with a sniper, with a nice gun and a silencer. That's scary for Laurent.
Yeah, he's just got the high ground now. He's pushed in. They still believe he's outside the blue and trying to pull in, but he's just got in early and he's using this high ground as an advantage. Everybody pushes around the outside, trying to use this hill to their advantage to cover most of their body, as this really understands what the ground is in this game. As Nitro finally gets that long range shot down, the AK and the red dot getting... Oh, as Awful Dodger dies as well. Just pulling people down as they're getting into the zone.
Yeah, that was 2 different people getting that team out after they took out Lysis. That they were next, essentially being easily spotted. Now you've got Orion SF. He knows what's going on with Snipcap and Nitro, but you know he is by himself and he is right at the circle as the circle is about to move in. There's There's 7 left here. You got, I think, 4 teams left. Very dangerous. Orion SF by himself. Everybody else in good position. Mom Spaghetti LeVar right near extra, and you've got Snipcap and Nitro down here. Wow, this is very exciting stuff as we're getting to this next circle. It's a very, very small circle. Whoever gets to the top of this hill, we're literally playing King of the Hill. I love it. I absolutely love it. As now you're seeing LeVar taking out. Wow, that's a lot of kills. And Orion SF dying to the play zone.
Yeah, LeVar doing...
And there were 2.
Yeah, LeVar doing really well there, coming down the hill and waiting until they had to move from the blue zone to gun them down. Snipcap are now using this to just focus upward, trying to do the same thing the other teams have done without the advantage for being there for too long. So they're just focused. They know where those gunshots come from. They know where Mom Spaghetti and Livar are, but they have to keep watch because Mom Spaghetti and Ivar have done really well at shooting now. They have the high ground advantage. They're going to be able to see, but they have to move in.
Yeah, 30 seconds. The high ground here is a real disadvantage. Being inside the circle is essentially doom for the other 2 guys. Mom Spaghetti now down to a headshot from Snipcap, that's impressive shooting. LeVar basically going to have to spray and pray more or less on Skipcap here. Oh, wow! Oh, but he dies. So he gets the kill, and then he dies. That's... shucks. Wow, that is amazing watching Nitra and Sipcat get the win with LeVar and Mom Spaghetti making it close. That was an amazing match. A lot of people getting a lot of kills, but no one really taking over.
Yeah, a lot of small skirmishes going out, but a lot larger over the map. There wasn't the one person in a really powerful position this game. Everyone just had really nice skirmishes, and when it got to the final zone, it was just people juking it out down to the last man left standing.
Yeah, and well, you've got Bubble Butter taking the win after placing 10th in the last match, and you've got LeVar, who they were last in the last match, going second here, and then you've got Jordan and Orion, who placed at 12th. So the entire tournament is up in the air. I have no idea who's going to win. I can't wait for the next match, the third and deciding match. I have no idea who's winning at this point. Fantastic stuff. Brett, any last words?
Yeah, good luck to anybody else playing in the third match who thinks they can still get in a good position here.
Absolutely. Good luck, everyone. And with that, we'll send it back to the booth.